Welcome to Chapter 7, VLAN Router on a Stick Configuration. In this video, I'm going to show you how to configure and create VLAN. In this local area network, it is divided into 3 virtual local area network, or VLAN. VLAN 10 has the subnet of 192.168.10.0/24, and it is in a separate building. This is assumed to be the server VLAN, and VLAN 20 use the subnet 192.168.20.0/24, and this is considered to be the student VLAN. And in a third building is the VLAN 30, and the subnet is 192.168.30.1/24. However, in this building there are 2 PC or workstation, 23 and 24, where 23 is belong to VLAN 10. Notice that the IP address is 192.168.10.220. The .10 is the subnet of the VLAN 10, and the .20 is the subnet of the VLAN 20. So workstation 24 IP address is 192.168.20.220. That means that this workstation 24 belongs to VLAN 20, and workstation 1 all the way to workstation 20 belong to the VLAN 30. When you configure a VLAN, you need to make sure that all switches that are in the network have the same VLAN, meaning that we have to create 3 VLAN for switch number 1, switch number 2, and switch number 3. These steps are the command to create VLAN. Config T, then VLAN with the ID number. It can be 10, it can be 100, it can be 50, it can be whatever you want it to. Then we just name the VLAN. After that, we need to assign the port to the VLAN, and these are the command. Now in this case, instead of assign one single port, we are going to assign a range of FA01 all the way to FA10. Okay, so that's what that means. Alright, and these are the command to assign the port. Notice that we are going to make the port a access port. So let's look at the VLAN 10 right here. The server 1 is connected to the port FA01, and the server 10 is connected to FA010. So we're going to have to assign these 2 ports to VLAN 10. And then after we do that, then we need to configure the trunk line. That is the trunk between the 2 switches. Now this line right here, or this connection right here, is the trunk line. A trunk line allows multiple VLAN to carry package or traffic. That's what a trunk is. Now in doing so, we have to configure the port that connect the trunk line. So in this case, we will need to configure the FA0/24 on this switch, and FA0/24 on this switch, and FA0/23 on this switch, and FA0/23 for these switches, and also the gigabit 0/1 on this switch. So this trunk line, that's another trunk line, and there's another trunk line. Okay, alright, let's begin. So let's start with switch 1. Alright, notice that switch 1 has port 1 all the way to port 10 is VLAN 10. So enable to get to the privilege mode. Config T, it's right here. Okay, and simply VLAN with the ID number. I'm going to use 10, and we name it, call it servers, and VLAN 20 is the next VLAN. I'm going to name that students, and VLAN 30, and I'm going to name that employees. Alright, so I finished created 3 VLAN. Well, let's look at it. Show VLAN. There you go. VLAN 10, call it server. VLAN 20, call it student. And VLAN 30, call it employees. The VLAN 1 is the default VLAN. Okay, it's already created by default. And for right now, all of the ports are assigned to VLAN 1 by default. So I need to assign port 1 through port 10 for VLAN 10, and then port 11 through port 20 for VLAN 20. So how do I do that? Well, let's see. Config T, and this step right here, okay, assign multiple port to a VLAN. Now, instead of doing a range, I'm just going to assign one port first, just to show you. So I do interface FA01, which is this port right here, and I'm going to call it switch port mode access. So it's going to be access port. The next command, switch port access VLAN what? VLAN 10. So that means that VLAN 10 will permit to go through this port right here. Alright, and exit. Now if I'm going to do the one more, I can do the interface FA02, and then do the same thing, switch port mode access, switch port mode access VLAN 10. Okay, now instead of doing that to all of the 11 port, I'm just going to use a range to do it. So interface range, I already configured 01 and 02, so I'm just going to FA03 through 11, well actually through 10. So it will configure all of these one time. So enter, switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 10. Alright, so let's look at it. Show VLAN. Okay, notice that now my VLAN 10 will use port FA01, FA02 all the way to FA10, which is this right here. That's how I assign the port to the VLAN. Now we need to do the same thing for VLAN 20. However, VLAN 20 will be using port F11 through FA20. So config T interface FA011 through 20. Okay, it should be range FA011 through 20. Switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 20. So we're going to assign those port to VLAN 20. Well, let's look at it again. Show VLAN. Here we go, right there. Notice that port 11 all the way to port 20 now are assigned to VLAN 20. So if a device will plug into or connect to port 15, that device will be part of VLAN 20. The same thing true for 17, for port 16, and port 19. Okay? Alright. Now I have finished configure the port for the 2 VLAN. Now I need to configure the trunk port. So this is right here. It's going to be a trunk line, so I need to configure this as a trunk port. How do I do that? Config T, right down in here. Okay, it's right there. Alright. The interface FA0/24, and then switch port mode trunk now. So that telling the switch that's going to be trunk port. Alright, then switch port allow trunk allow VLAN 1 through 99. Even though we only have VLAN 1, 10, 20, and 30, I'm go ahead let it allow port VLAN 1 all the way to 99. So in the future, I don't have to worry about configure this anymore. Alright, let's look at it. Show interface trunk. There you go. So port FA20, the mode's on, and it uses the 802.1q tag. That is the VLAN tag. Alright, and the status is a trunking port. Alright, notice that the VLAN allowed on that trunk is VLAN 199, but the existing or active VLAN right now are VLAN 1, 10, 20, and 30. Okay? Alright, so we're done with these switches. Now we need to do the same thing for the other switches. So let's go to switch 2. Alright, enable. Let's look at this right here. Okay. Config T VLAN 10, name it servers. VLAN 20, name it students. VLAN 30, I name it employees. Again, we have to create all VLAN to all switches. They must be identical. Alright, let's end show VLAN. Notice right now the default VLAN, all of the ports are assigned to the default VLAN 1. And my VLAN 10, VLAN 20, and VLAN 30 do not have any port assigned to it. So I need to assign port to those VLAN. Now FA024 gonna be a trunk port. The same thing true for FA23 and the gigabit 01. So let's do one at a time. Well, actually we can do both at the same time, but let's do one at a time. So config T interface FA0/24 switch port mode trunk. Okay, switch port trunk allow VLAN 1 through 99. There it goes. It's right here. These three commands right here, and then I said repeat the same for this other switches. Okay, so I finish assign this port. I need to do the same thing for FA23 and gigabit 01. Exit interface gigabit 01 switch port mode trunk. Make sure that I specify that. Switch port trunk allow VLAN 1 through 99. I'm done with that one. So let's go to the interface FA023 switch port mode trunk. Switch port trunk allow VLAN 1 through 99. Okay, so I'm done with this switch right here. Alright, let's look at it. Show VLAN. There you go. Alright, notice none of the port is shown in here because all of those ports are trunk port, so they're no longer shown in the VLAN. So we need to do show interface trunk. There you go. So port 23 is going to be trunk port, and we'll use the 802.1q tag. Okay, this is a VLAN tag. Alright, and so do FA024. Alright. Okay. Now show run. Okay, now gigabit 1 right here, switch port trunk. So it's already configured there. Alright, now we're done with that one. And switch 3, I already configured that for you because it's going to take too much time on the video, so I don't want to have a lot of time, or you have to watch a long time on the video, so I already done switch 3 for you. Now we should be able to ping those PC that has the same subnet. So let's see, this server 1, this on VLAN 1. See, it can ping the workstation 23 right here on the other VLAN. Alright, config desktop. Notice that the IP address is .100 and the default gateway is going to be 192.168.10.1. Okay. Alright. See, we can ping the .10.220. Ping 192.168.10.220. Okay. Alright. Now timeout, and it cannot ping. The reason, because VLAN will have to have a router, okay, for it to work. Alright, so let's look at it. Let's make sure that everything's correct. Okay. Alright, and this right here, 10 to 20. Okay. Alright, so what we need to do, we need to configure the router. Okay, so let's configure the router. This right here. Now the router, we're going to use one port right here and subdivide it into 3 sub interface, so that way it will be able to carry the traffic or package through this trunk port right here, gigabit 01. Now to do that, we'll use these commands right here. Okay, again, I will divide the gigabit, create or use the gigabit 0/1 to create 3 sub interface. Alright, enter, enable, config T. Now interface, this right here, gig 0/1.10, because my VLAN 10. Okay, so I just want to make it similar. Now of course you can use any number, you don't have to use 10, you can use anything, but I'm going to use .10. Enter. Then after that we have to type the encapsulation .1Q, and then that's going to be for VLAN 10. That's a VLAN 10, and we assign the IP address 192.168.10.1, subnet mask 255.255.255.0. So now I have finished create the sub interface for the VLAN 10. Now I need to do the same thing for the VLAN 20. So I'm going to call it interface gig 0/1 .20. Alright, and then encapsulation .20. Okay, .1Q 20. Alright, now IP address 192.168.20.1 255.255.255.0. Alright, I'm done with the second VLAN. Next thing is gig 01.30. Alright, and encapsulation .1Q 30, and the IP address is going to be .30.0. Okay, so I'm done with the creating the sub interface. Now I need to turn on the gigabit 01 port. Interface gig 0/1. No shutdown. There you go. Now it's turned green. Alright. Show run. Notice that the gigabit 0/1, I create one sub interface called a .10 and another one called a .20, that is for the VLAN 20, and assign my IP address to it, and then .30, I assign my IP address to it. Now this IP address will be the default gateway for the VLAN 10 right here, and this gonna be the default gateway for VLAN 20, and this gonna be the default gateway for VLAN 30. Okay, now we should be able to ping. Alright, let's go to see if we can ping it now. We should be able to ping it. Why we cannot ping it? It might be taking a bit. Let's see if we can ping dot .110. Ping dot .110. There you go. Now how about this right here, VLAN 2 dot 20 dot 100. There you go. That one ping fine. See if we can ping the dot 20 220 on this side. 220. There you go. So we should be able to ping it earlier, I think. Oh, it's 220. Let's look at this right here to make sure that it did the right configuration. Let's see. 10, 255, 110. That's correct. Why it's not pinging? Well, let's look at this switch right here. The port 22 should assign as a VLAN 10. So let's go in here. Enable. Show run. The port 22 should be LAN 22 right here. Okay, so that's the problem. It should be VLAN 10, not VLAN 30. So let's quit out here. Interface FA0/22 config T interface FA022 switch port access VLAN 10. That's what it should be. Alright, so show run. Okay, alright, and port 24 should be VLAN 20. Okay, that's correct. Show VLAN FA22. Okay, now we should be able to ping it. So that might be the problem. There you go. Okay, now when we create VLAN and we assign to a router like this, every single device can ping each other. It's just like a one big subnet. or local area network. Okay, so now in theoretically we need to restrict it or deny some of these PC from getting to the other VLAN. That's the purpose of VLAN, for security. Now in this case, we don't want any students to access to the server. We simply want them to get to the internet but do not access to the server. On the other hand, we'll let the employee access to the server. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, we use what we call the access list right there, and these are the steps. Okay, so we need to configure the router, and we don't want any of the VLAN 20 to get to the server, meaning that these the PC in the VLAN 20 cannot ping the server. So let's verify, make sure that it can ping right now. Okay, I'm in the PC 20 and IP config. This one's in 124. Okay, and so we can ping the .10.100. Ping 192.168.10.100. We should be able to ping it. It takes a little bit for the ping to go through. Alright, that means we did something wrong in the configuration. Let's try it again one more time. I see what I did. It should be .100, not .10. That's the reason why it did not ping. Let's fix that. It should be 100. There you go. It's pinging fine. Alright, and it should be able to ping 110 too. So we are in VLAN 2 and we can ping this VLAN 10. Now we want to restrict it so that VLAN 20 cannot ping VLAN 10. Okay, now to do that we have to use the access list, and here are the configuration. These are the steps. So let's go into the router. Alright, now what we need to do, we need to go to config T and access list. Now this access list, you can use 1 all the way up to 99 for the normal access list, and the extended access list, it's beyond this class, so we're not going to discuss about that. So I'm going to use the access list 1. Okay, and I said deny 192.168 dot, instead of deny all of these PC for VLAN 20, I'm just going to deny this PC right here. Okay, this workstation 23, because this is a PC on the VLAN 20s as well. Okay, or better yet, let's do this. Let's deny this right here. Let's deny this .20.100. Okay, so you type access list right here 1. Okay, deny, and then the inverse subnet mask. Okay, for one PC or one device. 0.0.0.0 is for one device. That's the inverse subnet mask. I have a documentation that you can read on your Moodle site about how to create VLAN and configure VLAN, and the documentation talks about the access list and the inverse subnet mask in detail. So refer to your document if you have any issue or any problem. Alright, now once I finish that, I need to access to configure the access list. 1. Permit any. In other words, I don't want to deny everybody. If I don't permit any, then it will deny everybody. So I don't want to do that. I only want to deny this PC only. Okay, now once you finish that, you need to go to the sub interface of that VLAN and then make it as a group, 1 out. So exit interface gig 0/10 1.10 interface gig 0.1.10. Oh, I need to go to config T first. Interface gig 0/110. Now I need to type IP access group. Okay, 1 out. Alright, 1 out meaning that to going out this way. Okay, that's what out mean. Alright, so we're done with that one. And let's see now. We should not be able to ping from this to this, any one of these PC in VLAN 10. So ping 192.168.10.100 100. Okay, we still can ping it. That means we did something wrong. Let's go back to look at again the router. Alright, and show run. Okay, and we deny. Okay, 1 access group, 1 out. Alright, and we deny. Oh, here you go. That's what happened. It should be a 100. So that's the problem. Config T. Let's fix that interface. Access list 1. Well, we have to take it out first. No. Access list 1. Deny 192.168.20.100 is .10 255.255.255.0. Okay, now we want to access list 1. Deny 192.168.20.100, not 10. My 0 is not typing well, that's the reason why. Okay, it's 255, 255. See, my 5 either. I have a bad keyboard. Alright, now it should work now. So let's go back in here and let's see if we can ping it now. We should not be able to ping it. Here we go. Destination host unreachable. Notice a little while ago we can ping it. And I should not be able to ping the .110 either. Okay, there you go. However, I should be able to ping the .20. So let's see, 20.100. My keyboard. There you go. And can I ping this right here? .20.220. .220. Yeah. Can I ping this right here? Well, it is part of VLAN 1. This right here, the .10.220. I should not be able to ping it. 10.220. There you go. Destination host unreachable. So that's how you limit it. Now, instead of just limiting one PC, if I want to deny all of the VLAN 20, notice a little while ago we only deny one PC of the VLAN 20. Now if I want to deny all of it, what do I need to do? Well, I need to do config T and access list. Now I'm going to go ahead and go call it 2. Okay. And well, I tell you what, since we are going to deny for all of the 20, there's no need this statement in here anymore. So let's take it out. So no access to delete the previous statement. 1 deny 192.168.20.100. Okay, so show run. Here you go. It's not there anymore. Okay. Alright. So let's do access list. 1 deny 192.168.20.0. That is the whole subnet. Okay. And the inverse subnet mask is 0.0.0.255. Okay. In other words, the subnet mask is 255.255.0. So the inverse of it would be 0.0.0.255. Okay. Alright, enter. And now that should deny all of it. Okay. In or exit, show run. Okay. Access 1 deny the whole subnet, and okay, IP access group 1 group. Alright, and that should do it. Alright, let's use this right here, and this is IP config. This is the .20 to 124, and we can see we can ping this right here, .100. So ping 192.168.10.100. Destination unreachable. How about 110? Okay. How about 110? There you go. Alright, how about VLAN 30.100? Let's see, is that what .100 or? Oh, it's .200. There you go. So it worked fine. .VLAN 30. Okay. And the other ones .200. My 0 is just not working right. Timeout. I'm trying to ping this right here, and I bet you that PC has not been configured. So let's look at it very quick. This right here should be .30.100. Yes, it is. It has been configured. Alright, let's go back. Oh. Is .200. .30.200. We are trying to ping from this PC right here to the .30. We have problem with that. How about the 220? Yeah, 224. 224. So we cannot ping that. Oh, there you go. Why not 200? let's look at it again. It can ping the 224 but not 220. So let's look at the configuration IP address. Oh, there you go. It's .100. It should be 200. That's what it is. Alright, let's go back and ping 200. There you go. Now it's working now. Okay, there, 220. So that's how you configure VLAN and deny a PC or the whole VLAN to get into another VLAN. So VLAN is pretty safe in terms of security. Okay, so these are the steps to create VLAN and assign to the port, VLAN port. These are how you assign the trunk, and these are those steps that how you configure the default gateway or the router or and the access list. I have all of this information in the documentation for you, so you don't have to worry about knowing this right here. All right, thank you.